everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing today? What's up? What's up? We got Beans, Mr. Green Beans, Austin over chilling on X, listening to us. Come to Twitch, buddy. Come to Twitch and be a part of the chat. Todd, checking back in. Good morning, good morning. How are you doing? How was your Saturday? What do you got going on Sunday? What have you been up to? What's your time zone, man? Where are you at? I'm Pacific Coast, so it's 5:30 in the morning. This is what I'm up to. I sit here in my garage or in my office and I do a little reading and journaling. I do this quick 30-minute morning show with some of my best friends in the entire world. I will get a little workout in, and then my family will wake up and we will start our day. Okay, so you're 9 a.m. East Coast time. Well, wait, it's a little East Coast plus. Okay, so you're beyond the East Coast, right? Um, so you've had a little bit more into your morning. So what's been going on, man? How was your weekend? I love talking to people about their weekend so that I don't have to dive too deep into this reading that hits a little too close to home for me. So anything I could do to distract myself. But yeah, we had a solid Saturday yesterday. Pouring rain out here, which is not very common for us. So we're in cold temperatures. We turned our heat on because it got so cold. Um, Wife was enjoying doing a 2,000 piece puzzle. I would say she's about halfway through it, but I think she'll finish it today. So that's her game. She loves that. And then we just kind of hung out. Once the weather cleared, I was able to jump out and cook some burgers and brats on the barbecue. So we got that done. And then I took the three kids to the movies, and we saw the Minecraft movie. I have three kids, so I have a 16-year-old daughter named Bailey. I have a 12-year-old daughter named Brooklyn, and then I have a 6-year-old son named Bentley. And so we all three went to the movies. We enjoyed the Minecraft movie. Funny enough, Bentley, the youngest one, he didn't enjoy it as much as we did. I think it's one of those movies that I love that have more of the adult, like aged up humor in it, like those little, what do you call it? Not inside jokes, but like over the kid, over the head of the over the mind of the kid jokes. Um, Jack Black being the main star, he's hilarious. I love him. Uh, so yeah, it was. I had a good time. It was a packed theater. Uh, the theater didn't know the whole chicken jockey, you know, whatever that thing is that everyone does. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that. I know Blaze has, and then my teenager, she's actually that was her second time seeing it. So when she went the first time, she went with a bunch of high school friends, and they all enjoyed that moment. I guess you're supposed to yell out "chicken jockey" when the movie does, and then potentially throw popcorn everywhere. So I'm sure the staff at the theaters have loved that little thing there. Um, yeah, today's definitely going to be a clean the house day. Our house is a little bit of a wreck, um, like you'd expect, and then doing the laundry. I got to do my laundry for the week of work. But yeah, awesome, man. Good stuff. Yeah, every Sunday, pretty much every Sunday. I mean, with three kids, it's like every day. Like the dishes never stop. I know my wife rotates through laundry every day of the week. Some stuff gets stuck in the washer and dryer for multiple days. But as far as like me, because I'm only really home the 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's my chance to clean everything and then put it all in a duffel bag in the car, just in case I end up spending the whole week um, out at work. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good, it's been a good weekend. And I've had no trouble waking up nice and early. So most of you know, we do the show every morning, or we try to do the show every morning, but it's obviously up to the individuals behind the camera to get up. So sometimes we just can't. Sometimes we got stuff going on. I think Ryan's got something going on. Blaze has something going on, and I believe Mr. Jason is enjoying his weekend off, and he is sleeping in. So it is just me. Um, if anyone wants to jump up, I can probably send a link. I don't know what's going on. It's just me and you right now, Todd. Um, but yeah, the rest of the chat is just hanging and listening. That's totally fine. All right, next thing, how about we do a little bit of gratitude? Todd, do you do gratitude? Do you practice gratitude? This is something I was thinking and I've thought about before, um, of doing with my family. So we're having a little bit of trouble uh, with our middle child. It's been going on for a little bit here, and she and I often exchange texts in the morning when I'm away. And she's a very sweet, loving, caring kid. Um, and I'm the same way in text. And then when it comes to like face-to-face interactions and what's been going on with with her lately and her homework, um, I feel like I'm maybe not as good as I am in messages. And I've been told this by my wife too, that face-to-face interactions, everything that's going on, like I could be sometimes a little mean, a little sarcastic, a little angrier than everyone wants me to be. And then the next day she'll get this like apologetic text and she's like, it just feels so fake. And I'm like, well, it's not. It's just that when I get out of the environment, I have a chance to slow my mind down. I have a chance to think and recover and say things that I would want to say in person, but either A, I'm at work and I'm not in person, or B, I don't know, there's something nerve-wracking in me about speaking uh like apologetically or vulnerable or whatever those words are face to face with someone, especially someone you've wronged or you've hurt or someone who's frustrating you. Like that's tough for me. Um, I do. I'm on a journey of sobriety, Dom. I practice gratefulness and gratitude. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Proud of you, man. Yeah, it's been a thing for me for the past, I don't know, 3 years, 3.5 years or so. It was mostly once I got into the Ryan Holiday books, and then mostly once I got into the VeeFriends community, and I ran into a friend in the community also named Dom, but he goes by Gentle Tornado or Live Hyped, and he does these gratitude videos. He's been doing them every day for, I think he's over 1,100 days in a row now. So he kind of taught me it. I kind of watched him go through it, and I watched how simple he would make them. Like, you know, I want to say like 5 out of 10 days, it's just like I'm grateful for life, like I'm grateful for family, and it's the same with me too. Today I went with the basic things like um, food, burgers and brats yesterday, family. My randomly my water heater kicked on while I was writing gratitude, so I wrote in there hot water, roof over the head, the ability to provide this great home for my family. That was kind of where I was at and where I was hitting this morning. So yeah, that's a little bit in there, and then so to transition back, right? Like we got into this book here. You're the voice in their heads. So this reading today is basically talking about, do you want to, and he's mentioned this theory before of, do you want to be an ancestor or a ghost for your kids? So a ghost being the one you don't want to be, haunting them, taunting them, scaring them, etc. And an ancestor being someone who, leads them, guides them. What's up, Soggy? How you doing, buddy? Good morning. Haven't seen you in here in a while. Brofit is here. What's going on? Sorry, I missed this message up here. Let me snag it if I can. My computer's being a punk. I have a very sensitive stepson. He gets very anxious, worried, bothered, and easily convicted. I'm as present as possible with him as I can be, and I'm not sure if you've ever seen Inside Out. Yes. Yeah, we love that movie over here, Inside Out. I dug it. Like, that was one of those things where, like, when the movie came out, I think it so Ryan, one of the other hosts here, he really digs this theory that, like, the friends, and I would argue that, like, the movie Inside Out, but this stuff is more for us than it is for our kids. I remember watching the Inside Out movie and thinking, like, yeah, I needed to know some of this information a lot more than my kids did. My kids are watching, like, the colored pictures and the cool scenes and stuff like that, but, like, the deep down emotional stuff, especially the second one when it came out, that hit me a lot too. Anxiety, because I feel like both my daughters now, being 16 and 12, are both leaning into that, or not leaning into that, but getting a little bit taken over by that emotion. And it was just cool to see it portrayed in a way that could maybe make sense for them. So yeah, it's good movies, good depiction of these things that everyone's going through. I'm just making my son a comic run for the day. Your coffee comics with John. What is this? What is this? Explain that, sir. I don't think you have a son. Do you have a son? I don't think you have a son. Yeah, two is the best. Yep. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's affecting it's affecting children younger and younger. That is a voice to text. You're driving, bud, working, doing something else. Voice to text, or David, one of the people that's always in here too. He's a voice to texter, and it's his messages are, like, I struggle with them a lot because they're very, like, he's a very insightful person, and so I know what he's saying, like, means something, but there's always, like the two most important words in his sentence are always messed up, and it throws me every time. So try again if you can, Soggy, but uh, maybe you got to take the soggy waffles out of your mouth before you voice to text. I'm currently driving to go pick up some Sunday comics. John and I are hosting Coffee with Comics on Whatnot in a few hours. Yeah, I know. We all need to articulate. Um, yes, John and Soggy are having a Whatnot show. They are doing what are you guys doing? You guys are doing I'm blanking on the word, but like a fundraising for Lex, right? I'm sorry, bud. Um, can I ask a personal VFriends question when you have time? Yeah, 100%. So you can ask it on here. Like, we get personal and deep on here all the time, but if you don't feel comfortable putting it on live recorded, you're more than welcome to hit me in the DMs. Um, tag me, tag me somewhere, anywhere, if we're not following yet, and therefore you can't DM me. But 100% anytime, uh, no problem at all. uh, so just find me on X. So I don't think we DM on Twitter, but yeah, we'll work it out. But yeah, back to the reading. Ancestor or ghost, how are you going to talk to your kids? How are you going to talk to your friends, your family, your other people, like figuring out a way to so, got it. Soggy's trying to sell shit. um uh, you're throwing me off track, but it's making me laugh. Uh, how are you going to talk to your kids so that they don't internalize your voice as always one of a negative thing? And so, like I said in the group chat, this week has all been hitting me very, very like right in my heart because we've been having this homework, this grades, this issue with like motivation with Brooklyn, and I find myself starting off speaking to her with patience and kindness, but I very quickly turn into um, threats isn't the right word. It's more like, you know, do your homework or get your phone taken away. Is that considered a threat? That threat just sounds like threat of violence. It's not violence. Um, and then anger and sarcastic and like mean things like, you're gonna have to repeat the grade and like that's gonna be super embarrassing and stuff like that. And like I know that's not the way to handle the situation, but very it's very tough in the moment when you feel like you've had this conversation over and over again with your kid because they've been failing or on the fence of failing. Like she's basically been teetering. Like her grades have teetered between like in two classes from like F, D, and C. So like she'll turn in a bunch of assignments and it'll go up to a C, and then she'll not do a whole bunch of assignments and it'll go back down to an F. And it's like we're 3 weeks out of school and she's back down to an F. So I feel like we've been having this conversation all year long, and so the point from when I start talking to her with patience and kindness to sarcasm and meanness, it seems to be shrinking at some point. Like it seems to be like the first sentence is patience and the last sentence is like mean. Morning, Jason.
What's up, Dom?
How you doing?
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you. Have you been listening in, or did you just pop in to say what's up?
Just popping in to say hi. It's been a few days
Got
since
it.
I saw you.
No worries at all. I figured you. I told everybody, and I figured I was like, Jason is just enjoying sleeping in. Like he
Yeah,
has the
I
weekends off.
did.
He's sleeping in.
Well, I hope we all have the weekends off. Does anybody not have the weekends off?
Some people don't. Some people work on the weekends.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never
Yeah.
mind. I don't mean to be judgy of other careers. Sorry. Um,
Yeah. Not
I,
everybody
I
has a normal 9 to 5. but but yes, I think there are a couple of people that I know that maybe work on the weekends.
yes.
But no, it's very typical right now of week workers.
Um, yeah, all the important jobs.
Yeah.
Hospitals, firemen, all the people that keep our society running. I don't even know why I thought that. I'm sorry, everybody. Um, I
How was your day?
the day was good. I did not have an alarm off. I had a banger of a sleep, which was great.
Nice.
Um, and I woke up, got the notification that you were on a Sunday, so I'm just jumping on to check in.
Yeah. Good. Good stuff. So you haven't gone no gym today, right? You do the gym during the week?
Didn't do the gym.
Okay.
I try to. I forget where I read it, but uh, somebody said like they use their family as their off days. Like if they're home with their family, then the family and whatever that entails is the off day, not trying to
Mm.
jam it into things you might be doing.
Or like chasing your family around and doing all the chores is enough of a workout.
That's also workout as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes I wish that my trainer friends like BroFit and Courage and Ryan would all let me count scrubbing the pool as a workout. But
that sounds
maybe
like a swimming workout. I think it's
maybe
great.
maybe none of them understand what it's like to scrub a big pool. So
Yeah. Sorry, Soggy. No, please don't be offended by that. I heard you talking about grades
hmm
and the discussions that are around those. Does that relate in any way to the page today?
yeah, it was a little bit about the page today about like how you speak to your children and how they're going to internalize your voice, and then that voice becomes helps transition the quote unquote voice inside their head. So we all have a voice inside our head. It's typically not like a specific person's like voice. It's not like everyone just hears their mom's voice in their head. It's usually a combination of parents, teachers, coaches, etc., that you like that kind of like helped raise you, and then it develops into this voice in your head, right? And so the reading was about like how to talk to your kids, and I was just kind of saying how this one hit me in the feels, because this everything that's been going on with Brooklyn, and a lot about it, is that like I find myself like trying to talk to her nicely and patiently, and then like really quickly transitioning into like mean and sarcastic and like rude and stuff like that, and hurting her feelings. And I'm like, yep, the voice in her head, like the parts that come for me aren't very fun.
Um, I read this last night, and I kind of went to bed thinking about it, about the whole inner voice. Yeah, ta 1446039. Good morning, Tom.
His
Do you
name
know
is Todd, and he's over
Tom?
in Eastern Canada.
Hey, Todd. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I went to bed thinking about it, about the voice, and I was thought I kind of fell asleep to was like whose voice is my inner voice, or whose tone does my inner voice have?
Mm,
Like sometimes I guess it's usually your parents, right? Um,
typically.
maybe it's mine, but I think it was a really great little thought experiment to fall asleep to. I kind of tuckered my little brain out thinking about it. Um, but like the way whether it's like positive self-talk or negative self-talk, it's like whose voice, whose tone is it? I think it's obviously family. It's like,
Yeah.
the things that you hear growing up, whether good or bad. I think those are the things that kind of build your inner monologue as you talk yourself through the day.
Yeah, it becomes a good mix. Like I feel like if I'm thinking about like what's inside my head, I get a decent mix of both mom and dad. Um, and like the reading said, I'm not too crazy about it. I'm not too much a fan of of the things that have been programmed into my mind. So, part of my journey right now over the last 4 years and the next 400 years, or whatever, however many years, is to try to mess with that voice a little bit, and, put some of my own programming in there, try to help me kind of get through life a little better, a little easier, uh, and with a stronger, you know, ancestral voice in my head. So, I think the point of the reading is to, give us parents of the now, and maybe help some of those grandparents or like our parents that are reading this book, kind of change that earlier. Like, if I can start the change now, then my 16-year-old will have a little better of a voice in her head than I had. My 12-year-old will have a good better, and then Bentley should have like the best chance of all to like have a very, and that's what this whole book is, and this whole journey, and this whole morning show is all about for me, is just like making each one of their lives just that much better than I had, even though I had a really good life. And they're a testament to all of that, everything that I've created and done in this life. I can't knock it very far, and I think a lot of people have that same sentiment around their life, like life could have been better, but at the same time life is great.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the little tidbit on like the ghosts. Are you going to be a ghost or an ancestor?
Yep.
You know, things that come to mind are like when people kind of reference like my granddad used to say this or something like that. Then I was also kind of, we had a soccer game yesterday, and with Kira's team, and like the things that coaches say during a game, like the sports terms that kids use, and whether you do something good or whether you mess up something. Another thought I had was like, if I'm doing something bad or if I'm screwing something up, is that a different voice uh, from when I do something good? Whose voice is that? Like, where does that come from?
Yeah.
And if I was Australian, does your inner monologue have an accent? Like Craig said.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
do
what I
you
was
run?
saying. As soon as he wrote that, I was actually thinking that before a little bit, like who, like if I could just adopt someone else's voice. You know how like you run into these people who are like amazing parents, and you're like, "Oh, can you adopt me?" And they're like, "You're 40." And it's like, "No, but seriously." It's like, I wonder if I could just adopt someone's voice. And then I think I thought about Craig and Nath, and I'm like, I don't know. I think it would be funny because I love the Australian accent, but at the same time, like they're very sarcastic, they're very dirty and raunchy at times. Like I don't know that I'd want that in my head anymore than it already is.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other thing I wanted to touch on before we leave is Todd, for books. So like the book that I recommend for parenting that I loved is The Self-Driven Child. And I'll go a little further in saying like, so Ryan Holiday, the author of The Daily Dad, which we're talking about, he has a Daily Dad podcast. And for a while, and I don't know if he does it anymore, but he was doing these long form interviews with authors, and he would do parenting books. Like he would interview an author of a parenting book. So that's where I picked up The Self-Driven Child. He interviewed the authors of that, I think two different times, because I think they have a second book that was also a pretty good one. It's like a follow up to that book. So that's my reco for books
And
on
this
parenting.
is Ryan Holiday, you said?
Well, he didn't write that book. It was
No, I'm saying who is the one that did the long form
Ryan Holiday.
interviews?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he does it for both his shows. So he has two podcasts, daily podcasts, the Daily Stoic and the Daily Dad. And in both of them, the daily ones are like 3 to 5 minute long ones, and he just kind of like reads a quick little passage, not like from his book. So it's like he writes a completely separate passage. The dude writes like like Brofit works out or something like that, or like or Ryan talks about food. Like he just writes. And then I think like once a week or something like that, he'll drop an interview, a long like 1 to 2 hour interview with someone, and it's usually that they're an author, so they're like promoting a book, and they go on their little like book promotion tour. Um, and he's one of the podcasters that like that's how I found Gary Vee and got into VeeFriends, is I was listening to Ryan Holiday's podcast. He interviewed Gary Vee, who had just dropped his book, 12 and a half. And I liked the way Gary spoke. Like I liked his responses to all the questions, and I liked the way he took the conversation. And then at the end, Gary made his pitch and was like, follow me on Discord and come get interested in all this stuff. And I went down that rabbit hole.
Mhm. This is the only parenting book that I've read, and
Gotcha.
the uh, the one pager a day is good for me.
I
For
like that.
somebody who set a 2025 goal of reading one book every 2 months, uh, one page is great.
So
I'm
instead,
nowhere,
you read one book a year.
no, nowhere close to that. Um, Not a parenting book, but along the same thread of like finding authors through various podcasts. I used to listen to um, Tim Ferriss quite a bit, and it's been quite a while. But Stephen Pressfield has a few good
Yep.
books. One is called uh, the War of Art.
Yep.
Have you read that before?
I haven't yet. It's been on my list because um he's actually closely tied to Ryan Holiday. So I've heard a lot about his books from Ryan
Yeah.
Holiday. I think he's interviewed him a couple of times.
War of Art. It's mostly about like the creative process, whether you're an artist or any other kind of, whether you're building something from nothing or an
Yeah.
entrepreneur. I really found his book great. It's also a one pager, so it's great. One page a day, one
Oh, really?
meditation.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can. It's not divided in days, but like every page is like kind of like a meditation.
Okay.
But it's all about,
That you're gonna like put a twist on me and be like, yeah, you didn't know that you could just read any book one page a day? Like Alice in Wonderland is one page a day.
yeah,
You didn't know that?
bookmarks. You just put the bookmark in the page one at a time. He talks a lot about the things that like he talks a lot about resistance in whatever
Yeah.
you're doing, whether it's like
Yes.
fitness or your daily routine or your creative practice or any other practice that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of reading how those resistances pop up throughout the day, whether it's family, procrastination, any
Yep.
of those things. I just found it it was very good uh, on how to kind of direct your energy, whether you're bustling with energy or you're low on energy, how to kind of work through those little roadblocks. So that's another one. I'd say that's a book that I've referenced before. So
Yeah.
so kind of like the Daily Dad's book. Like I'll go back once in a while and kind of read what I
Cool.
wrote on pages and stuff like that. So
Well, I think I mean I've been looking for my next book to read anyways. So I think I'll probably download that one because it's been on the list for a really long time. Like Ryan Holiday speaks very highly of it, and Stephen. I want to say that Stephen Pressfield co-authored the Daily Stoic with him. Like if I'm not mistaken, um, like helped him with that book. But I could be totally wrong.
yeah.
I'm not showing it right now. But I also wanted to just give Todd here and Brofit. No, it's Steven Hanselman. I wanted to give Todd and Brofit a little connection here because they're saying they're both fitness trainers or he's into fitness. I train 5 days a week. So Todd, just to let you know, Brofit AZ on Twitch actually. He most days of the week, I don't know his schedule, but he goes live right after our show and he does a daily workout session. So if you want to make that connection, follow him here on Twitch, and then you can literally follow him out of our show into his own show, and he works out live, talks to you as much. You can distract him as much or as little as you want to, especially if you want him to stop making you sweat and cry. That's what I typically do. I try to distract him so that I can take a break. Um, but yeah, my abs are still sore from that guy from 2 days ago. He makes me move in ways that I didn't know I could move and don't want to move anymore. But yeah, that one was fun actually. That one 2 days ago. I'm gonna commit that one. Try to get those abs of steel going through this. My son was talking shit to me the other day. He's like, "Dad, you got a 1 pack, and I got a 21 pack."
Ooh,
Just,
heat
it's like,
burn.
dude, yeah. Yep. But yeah. All right, man. You got Sunday plans?
Dropping off the doggy painting, packing up your doggy painting. Um, I can check those off my list. I got a Where'd it go? I got a new screen printer
Oh, cool.
behind me.
What's that for?
It was kind of screen printing. I haven't screen printed in a while, but it's one of the things I do down here
Nice.
when I have the time. But
You,
I'm
you,
going to
you
donate
gonna
my old
print the
one,
10 plus club shirts?
9 Plus Club.
9 plus. I think I keep saying it wrong. Yeah, 9 plus.
9 Plus. 9 Plus could be 10.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to play with that today. So
Right on, man.
you have a
All right.
wonderful day yourself.
Yeah,
Awesome.
enjoy your Sunday, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Everybody will catch you. We'll catch you tomorrow, same time, same place.
Same dad time, same dad place.
All right, man. See ya. Love you guys. Where is the music? There it is.